the whole time we were making this film, we were thinking, no one's going to watch this film. It's too crazy. It's too weird. Everybody's going to hate us. We kept saying that. Everyone's going to hate us when we get to release this film. But it turned out that they didn't. And it's been actually very shocking to me and wonderfully shocking that people actually have liked it. They got what we were trying to do.
Employ my ingenuity to create an aesthetic that's more complicated. Hard to do.
PD is this incredibly complex person who is an artist on the one hand, is involved in pornography, is very intellectual, as you can tell by the interviews. One reviewer called him Kubrick-esque, and I think that's probably one of the best definitions of his personality. And when he's working, he's trying to get something that's inside his head out into the, into the room, and he's just fixated on it, and he's very meticulous. He has to make everything perfect.
Yes, I've a safe word, as you told me, it is
Consent. That was one of the big underlying themes of this movie. The safe words, limits. Obviously, you think of them creating a line below which there is not consent and above which there is consent. And of course, then we show in this how consent can become very blurry because of the introduction of money or other pressures.
And ultimately, it became that I wanted to come back for the money and not for the challenge. And I would say it was about the challenge, but it wasn't. It was for the money.
The main actor in this film, or the secret actor, as I would call it, was the money. It clearly exemplifies the whole workplace dynamic, and this piece of footage is so perfect, because I think I've been in this position with one of my employers at some point, where they wanted me to do something that I didn't want to do because I thought it was wrong. And they were putting lots of pressure on me using money as the wedge. So you've got things on both sides. PD wants to make sure that he's giving his members, what they want, because there's all this money involved. And you've got this model, and I don't know exactly what's going on in her mind. I didn't talk to her after this. But there's clearly a tussle going on, and everybody's mad at PD. But neither one of them are really directly addressing the situation. She's not really saying no. She doesn't really want to, and she's trying to find that place where she can make it go on, but he'll stop crossing her limit. And he doesn't want to admit, it's clear that he's done something that he agreed he wasn't going to do. And the thing I think that's very interesting about this is that we as women are in our homes learn to say no, or we don't. And that women come to insects, they've already got 18 or 20 or 23 or 28 years behind them of learning. It's not like they come in a blank slate, and we addressed this some because Nina talked about this too, 1201, and how Donna said that she always could say no because she must have learned it somewhere, like in her family or when she was growing up. Somehow she learned how to say no. But 1201 felt like she didn't know how. She didn't, that the pressures on her were confusing. And so we're faced with these very same situations where, somebody wants us to do something, and we really want this thing. Maybe it's money, maybe it's, who knows what it is. And we don't really want to say no. And so we agree to do it, but then we're really angry at them because we went ahead and did it. And that's not really fair, because we had a part in it. And I think that's why I like Nina's interviews so much.
And I thought I was this well-informed, smart, feminist girl that could say no at any time, and I'm so strong, and I know what I'm getting myself into. And I guess I didn't really.
I think a key thing to this film is that we're trying to get people to question, to see that things aren't black and white, that there's a complexity involved in all of the issues that we raise, whether it's consent or whether is this art or is it porn. And hopefully people will come away with that and will just, in the end, just look a little closer at their own lives.